Muslims worship a stone in the desert, run circles around a black box, pray to a moon god. Why is it that when we're talking about the God Muslims worship, we think of something foreign? This is an Arabic Bible. The very first sentence, in the beginning, Allah created the heavens and the earth. Allah in the Bible?
لنا ثقة بالمسيح عند الله.
Not long ago, I was preparing to board a flight to Egypt. I noticed a man at the gate dressed in the black clothing worn by Coptic Christian priests. Before I could say anything, he smiled and greeted me saying, Assalamu alaikum, the Arabic greeting of peace typically exchanged between Muslims. He used other phrases, Alhamdulillah, praise is due to Allah, Insha'Allah, Allah willing. For this Christian priest, Allah isn't a Muslim word, not something foreign or threatening. It's just the name for God, the same name Arabic-speaking Jews and Christians have used for centuries before the English word God even existed. So why do so many of us flinch when we hear it? That feeling, the discomfort, the pause, it's not an accident. You didn't come up with it on your own. It was fed to you, and it was fed deliberately. After 9/11 especially, an entire ecosystem of media, politics, and money was built around keeping that feeling alive. Let's cut through the noise and look at what's really going on. We know Allah is the same word, but is it the same God? Did you know that a Muslim can't be a Muslim without believing in Jesus? That Mary is mentioned more in the Quran than in the entirety of the New Testament? That the prophet mentioned most by name in the Quran is Moses? This isn't a religion that invented a new God and erased what came before. The Quran calls Jews and Christians people of the book, people who received earlier revelations from the same God. It's a term of recognition and shared heritage. Islam doesn't reject that lineage. We belong to it. We believe in what has been revealed to us and what was revealed to you. Our God and your God is only one, and to him we fully submit. Here's something people don't expect to hear from a Muslim imam. I grew up singing in a church choir. I got on my knees and prayed before bed, and even then, even before I knew anything about Islam, I never pictured God. No figure, no face, just something real that I was reaching toward. When I first encountered Islam, I found a description that had matched what I always had instinctively believed, what we call Islamic monotheism, the absolute unique oneness of God. Can you picture it? Carve it? Hold it in your hand? That's not Allah. Did it ever walk the earth? Does it have parents or children? That's not Allah. Has it ever needed anything from you to exist? That's not Allah. God is the creator, everything else is the creation. And that distinction is critical. A God unconstrained by forms or limits is not distant. He's more present and capable than anything you can actually see or touch. But here's what most people get wrong about God in the Islamic tradition. You may have heard that God in Islam is harsh, distant, that Muslims live in fear of him. Did you know that the two qualities of God that Muslims invoke more than any other in their prayers are Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, the most compassionate, the most merciful? That every chapter of the Quran except for one opens with those two names. Before any instructions, any laws, anything else, God introduces himself through mercy. And there are so many other names that close that distance between the divine and our day-to-day reality. And they're what you reach for in specific moments. The source of peace, the repeatedly forgiving, the ever near, the constant provider. These are some names of God and titles of God that inspire the prayers that have sustained generations through both prosperity and pain. Names that Muslims know and call upon when in need. No doubt, God is also just, and accountability for our actions is a pillar of the Islamic faith. But the notion of God as an entity waiting for us to mess up so he can punish us is far from the lived reality of Muslims. So where did the idea that Allah is foreign, threatening, other actually come from? It didn't emerge organically. It was constructed. Think about the last time you heard the word Allah in mainstream media. News coverage of attacks, political speeches about radical Islam, a call to prayer on a phone app causing a flight to be diverted. Look at how we're being conditioned. A word that billions of people use to express gratitude, to greet their neighbors, to begin their prayers, packaged repeatedly again and again as a threat. When one word from one tradition gets that treatment, constantly, consistently, over decades, you have to ask, is this about informing you or controlling what you feel? The confusion about Allah was never innocent. It was useful, and understanding that it was deliberate is the first step towards seeing clearly. Here's what I want to leave you with. The God Muslims worship is not foreign. He's the one God, the creator of the heavens and the earth, the God of Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. The God Arabic-speaking people of faith have called Allah in their prayers for centuries. And if that surprises you, it's right here in the first sentence. So we've clarified, Allah is not a black box, He's not a stone, He's the same God that you already know. And if that itself has been a distortion, what else have you been told about Islam that might not be true?